Hello. So, for starters, I just need to say, if I look dead, okay, what an interesting video this is gonna be, because to be so honest, I probably have a slight fever. I definitely had a fever last night, and I don't know if I have, I'd assume it's more than a cold because of the fever, and there is that super flu going around, except I don't have it that bad, I don't think, because I'm mainly, I'm a little congested, but it's mainly, the feverish feeling that I'm dealing with, but, I'm still, I can drink water. So that's an update on if I look dead, because I was I'm not harming anyone by making a video in my room, so I figured I'd still do this because I still felt up to it, and wanted to make sure this got done. And just a little reminder that there is the flu's pretty bad this year, so you know, get vaccinated, do what you can to keep yourself healthy. So, end of year book tag. I was gonna do this last week, as I said in last week's video, but I wanted to find one that wasn't just, because the ones I were finding on blogs and stuff were to me, felt very similar to the fall book tag. So I wanted to find another one, and I found one on something called Rumble by Chanel Days, or Chanel Days? Chanel Days. They have their prompts on there that I'm gonna answer these, and then I will also answer the blog ones, as long as my camera doesn't die, because I feel like it's gonna. I was fully just talking to the camera and it was off. And that was definitely the fever. And that's also why I'm wearing a blanket hoodie, because of, I've been getting the shivers. But that being said, so the first questions are really getting right in there, starting with best smut. AO3, I don't know. Honestly, I'd probably say this is a crazy one to say, but because I don't me personally, it's not something I seek out. I've said so many times I'm not a Puritan, but it's just I'm not seeking out books with smut. I feel like the smut in Hamnet, because it is just flowery writing and it's not erotica or anything like that, that's what's preferable to me personally. Not for any reasons of hating on smut or anything, just because I don't care. Me personally, I don't care. And so I prefer the writing of that, of you obviously know that it is a sex scene, but it's not I don't know. That's just how I prefer it to be written. And my fave book, getting right in there, my favorite book of 2025 is, honestly, surprisingly, Babel's not a surprise. That one was definitely my top. It's between, though, Babel and Hamnet. I'm surprised Hamnet's up there as much as it is. I still have to finish Cinderella is Dead, so that could also be up there. And Gideon the Ninth. But as of the ones I've finished, Babel and Hamnet, I think, are the two that are up there. I mean, Emily Wiles was good as well, but those two I think stuck with me the most. Also, because I just read just read Hamnet and woke up in the middle of the night with a fever, I was pestilence has invaded my house. I have it. I mean, it was that feverish of I'm not making any sense. So, but also my mind was so stuck in Hamnet that I was tis pestilence. Next question is fave nonfiction. I don't think I read a nonfiction this year, so I do not have an answer for that one. Of all time, the only one I can think of is one of Carrie Fisher's biographies that I read. What's it called? Rebel Princess, something like that, with her Princess Leia cover. But I don't read a lot of nonfiction, so. Fave book couples of the year. Oh, I loved, who is his name? Severin and Ben in Darkest Part of the Forest. Of course, there's Wendell and Emily Wilds. I think that's it. I haven't read a lot with couples. The Latin tutor, that's obviously William Shakespeare and Agnes, I guess. If we can count Robin and Rami. They obviously weren't actually a couple or anything. And whether you wanted to interpret it as deep platonic love or there was more than that is up to you, but yeah. Fave main characters of the year. Robin, Swift, I think that's the first one coming to mind. I liked Hazel in Darkest Part of the Forest, and of course Emily Wilde's an interesting one. Book that surprised you, Hamnet. I did not. I expect to like it because I heard good reviews. It was recommended by a friend, and but I mainly was like, I want to see the film and I want to read the book before I see the film. But I was surprised by how much I liked it, to be so fair. And that would be also, I mean, like, there was that tennis romance. What was it called? Like, was it called like Match Point or something like that? No, 40 Love. 40 Love, I was surprised because I didn't like hate it as much as I've hated other contemporary romances. I didn't really hate it at all. Like, I just thought it was cute. I thought it was fine. So I think, I guess that is in a way surprising. Fave author this year, R.F. Kuang. Even though I read one of her books, it did make me want to read a lot more. So I would say R.F. Kuang because that was one of my favorite books. I mean, Maggie O'Farrell for Hamnet as well, but I feel like it didn't. I feel like I really liked Hamnet, and I'm not sure if I want to read more of her books. But I do know I want to read more of Kuang because there are like the Poppy Wars I know I want to read. Happiest read of the year? Oh boy. Let's think about that one. Maybe 40 Love, maybe Emily Wilde's. I mean, like, there were some like harder, not hard, but like sad parts of it, but it's just like it is more cozy. So probably Emily Wilde's. Weirdest book. That's hard because I feel like I haven't read any weird books. I do want to try to read some weird books. Like, that's why like Bunny is on my list for next year because people have called it like a weird girl book. Probably, I can't remember what it's called, like the marine biologist and the siren. I can't remember what it's called. I'll put a picture of it up and put the title. But it was weird. And it like wasn't as weird as like I wanted it to be so honest, because it is like supposed to be like a paranormal romance, but he just wasn't fishy enough. He just wasn't mermaid, siren, whatever he was. And yeah, but it was weird and it was bad. Just not weird enough. I feel like it was bad and that made it weird, but not the good weird. Hey, what? We're blaming the fever on that sentence. I don't know what I meant. Longest book you read this year? Oh, I don't know. Why did I say that like that? What was the longest book I read this year? Give me a minute. You know what? I also forgot I read Half a Soul this year. That was a good book, and it had some like harder topics as well, but I would call it like a happy read as well. And that's another couple, Dora and the Lord Sorcier. It's another good couple. I fully forgot I read that this year, which like it was a good book. It just like obviously wasn't one of my favorites because I forgot it. Yeah, I didn't read anything super long, so the longest was Babel. And the shortest book I read this year was that Siren book. I don't even think it was 100 pages. And that's why I was like, let me just try this on Hoopla. And like, I haven't really read a paranormal romance, and I was like trying different things, and I was like having a hard time sleeping. So I was like, let me just read this. I think I read it in like a night. And it wasn't good. And it wasn't even like weird. And I said it for weird just because like conceptually sure, but like it just wasn't. It just didn't have what AO3 does. Favorite covers of the year? I think the Hamnet cover is really pretty. Oh no, the Emily Wilde. I mean, Hamnet cover is pretty, but Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales, because it's pink and green, and first of all, opposites on the color wheel, we love to see it. But I love pink. I don't know if you could tell. And I like, that to me was the prettiest cover because of that. Also, my blanket hoodie has dogs on it, and so do the pajama bottoms I'm wearing. A book you haven't stopped thinking about. Babel I think about a lot, and obviously Hamnet. And again, I just finished reading Hamnet recently, so that could be it, and it could also be The Fever because Pestilence. And the film's coming out. Yeah, I feel like it's Babel, and I also think about that 40 Love sometimes, because then I'm like, it wasn't Challengers, and it should have been. I do kind of want to watch that Hockey Rivals, I do want to watch the show, but I have said so many times I do not want to read any sports romances, but I kind of want to read the Hockey Rivals ones, whatever it's called, Heated Rivalry, I think, because people are like comparing it to Challengers, and apparently Challengers was on the mood board for the show, so I definitely have to watch the show. But Is it gonna be, I just feel like it's not gonna have what Challengers did, just a certain je ne sais quoi. That's all I have to say. But maybe I'll try it. Maybe I will go back on my word and try it. Lowest rated. That siren romance, and it's not because I don't like paranormal stuff. It's because, okay, what I was saying before I was really interrupted by my battery dying, is that I'm like way back here now. I should move up. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad because of it being like paranormal. Like I'm not weirded out by that stuff. It's the issue is it wasn't weird enough. And the plot was also not great. And the writing was not my favorite. And what else about it? I don't know. The siren's name was Orlando. Unpopular book you loved. I feel like Hamnet's decently popular. Maybe not super popular. But I wouldn't call it unpopular. I don't know. I don't think there were any The Darkest Part of the Forest, I feel like is definitely not Holly Black's most talked about book, so I'll just say that. Book I want to read next year. So many. I just did a video on that. So I'm just gonna... Chain Gang All Stars is the first one I saw, and that's the one I'm gonna say, and Intermezzo's over there as well, so we'll say that. Book that made you cry, Hamnet. Also, I did cry when I finished Ruthless Vows. I think I said in my review that both books made me cry because they did. But Hamnet as well. Hamnet had me crying like early on. It's very beautifully written, but so sad. But I will do a spoiler-free review for that and talk a bit more about it in my December reading wrap-up. Book with the most unique concept. Babel, I guess. Not unique in the sense that like no one's ever talking about colonialism or that kind of stuff, but like I haven't read it from the perspective of like languages and that kind of stuff. I feel like it's unique to other things I've read, especially it being like a historical fiction fantasy. That made it a bit unique as well. Not that there aren't other historical fiction fantasies, but I think just like the storyline with that made it unique in my opinion. Book you read that you would reread? Probably Babel I would reread. Maybe the Emily Wilds if I'm like needing a bit of a comfort read. Hamnet, I don't know about. I don't know if I would reread that one, unless I'm really looking to cry. Reading goal reflection. I did not have a reading goal this year. I have said in many videos I was in grad school for most of the year, and that really like put me, I guess, I don't want to say behind, but it just like, it wasn't my best reading year for sure. So I read about as much as I thought I would, which was not nearly as much as I usually do, but that's fine. It was just one of those years, and I'm okay with it. I am, and we gotta keep going. 2026 reading goal, or what are you prioritizing in 2026 reading wise? I also don't really do reading goals, so just to say that, like I don't give a number, but I do hope to read more next year and to try different genres, and that's something I said in my last video as well. So the few questions that I am going to answer from a blog is Dark Shelf of Wonders. Are there any books you started this year you need to finish? Yes, Cinderella is Dead. I need to finish that one, and I'm liking it. I think I'm really gonna love it. It was actually recommended by my mom, so I am gonna finish that. I kind of did go off my TBR that I had like planned because of like the reading slump I was in, which Hamnet actually kind of got me out of that. But I wanted to get like another like fantasy book that I felt like I would enjoy. Also, Gideon the Ninth is another one I have to finish, so those are the ones. And I would like to continue with that series. I don't think I'll finish the second book this year, but we'll see. There's not a lot of time left, but we'll see, especially since I have a fever right now, so I have the time to be lying in bed, because it's all I want to do right now is lie in bed, read, maybe like watch a film. But is there a new release you're still waiting for? Not that I know of. Is there a book that you think could still shock you and become your favorite? I don't think it would be a shock if like I really end up having Cinderella is Dead as one of my favorites, and Gideon the Ninth definitely as well. So kind of zoomed through that, but my battery is gonna die again and I probably should take a nap. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in a week. I'm also posting this on Saturday, which you would know by now by the end of the video, but I'm gonna start posting on Saturdays because my analytics said, that that is a good day for my subscribers, I guess. I don't know what I'm saying. It's the fever. Okay, bye.